So, I won't get into programming just yet because I have some admin tasks I need to do. So you guys will just see our virtual office, and as I work on my admin tasks, then when I switch gears to programming, then I'll share my screen with like the stuff that I'm doing. Yeah. Today will be an engagement stream, which means that I will not be looking at the chat because I want to get into like deep work mode, right? So I'll play some lo-fi beats and I'll mute myself and I'll get to work. Thank you for joining the stream, even though there's no one here yet. But yeah. Okay, so thanks for joining the stream. I was working on some admin tasks and having breakfast. But now we're not necessarily going to be coding our King Panda. So something else has become a bit urgent. I realized that at the company, I'm just dogging people's salaries. Like there's no formula. There's no. I just pull a number out of my ass. And I'm like, here's your salary. So so I need to correct that, right? And we need to kind of have a more structured and transparent way of like leveling, so that we know a junior makes this much money, a senior makes this much money, and across the different roles that we have in the company, right? So in a minute or two, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to be working on that compensation calculator. It's going to be public, right? Because again, we are a transparent company, so we want people to know the deal before they even come on board. So I'm going to be working on that, like a basic version of that, and then I'll tweak the numbers like later, right? So don't focus on the numbers right now. When it's deployed on the company website is when it will have like accurate numbers. So for now, it just has some placeholder data, but based on some basic research that I did on like numbers in Kenya, right? So for different roles, who makes how much money, in which role, at which level. So I'm going to fine tune it, right? It's not very far off. It's nearby, with a vicinity of like 10 to 15,000, maybe off, plus or add, depending on that role. But by the time we are publishing it on the Akonga Labs website, Akonga, it's nga, it's not nga, it's nga, Akonga Labs website, it's going to have accurate numbers, right? So that if you're applying for a role, even before you apply, you know how much the role, like you're able to use the tool to gauge how much you're going to be paid, right? And let me show you guys post hog. So I'm basically stealing that tool from this guy. It's not stealing, but like copying. But stealing is also it's good. Good artist, great artist steal. There's something like that. So they have this compensation calculator over here, and you're able to like go. I'm in Kenya. I'm a senior. I'm thriving. And then you're able to tell that my salary will be between $153,000 a year to $160,000 a year, right? Plus equity. So this kind of helps people understand what they're getting into even before they apply for a role. Because for every role, there's this calculator. And then also at the bottom, you kind of see the benefits of joining the role. So my goal today, at least for this particular task, is to just have a calculator, and then later I'll collect the benefits where I've written them, and I'll now make a similar thing, so that one internally, for the pool already on the team, they can be able to kind of already gauge where, like they'll be able to know, okay, I am a, and we'll even have like, for us, them, they don't have like a role. Okay, them it's role by role basis, right? But for us, we'll, like, a content marketer will not be paid the same as an engineer, right? So we'll have also like a drop down that allows you to like select which role you're thinking about. So you'll have the role you're thinking about, the level of seniority, and then the step, right? So you're either learning means you just started the role, you're new to the role. Most of a good chunk of your time is spent on educational materials. Established means that you've gone from your biggest time spent is learning to your biggest time spent is operating. And then thriving is you've gone from, sorry, I don't have these things in my head. Let's just learn more about compensation. So yeah, starting to match expectations, matching expectations, exceeding expectations here and there, and then exceeding expectations consistently, right? So once you're an expert, the question is, do we want to move you a role higher? So if you're a junior, should we consider moving you into an intermediate learning, right? Or if you're a intermediate, should we consider you moving you into a senior? So that kind of open, transparent, with salary bands, so that people are able to understand where next from here. What do I need to be doing, right? So they've been able to self-evaluate. So if you notice that you're in a job and most of your time is spent like you don't yet match the expectations, but you're on your way, you know that you're in the learning phase, right? If all you do is expectations are here and your output is here, you're just matching the expectations, right? You are in an established, like you're doing a good job. We like you're meeting the expectations, right? Like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But then now to progress, you need to enter into thriving and expert. So it makes it very clear for people to understand progression, for people to understand what do I need to be doing to go from where I am now to where I'm going, right? So people are able to plan for it. People are able to ask their managers, or they're able to look for tasks that they're able to figure out what are my expectations. How do I match then exceed my expectations? And when do I realize that I'm exceeding the expectations consistently? And then when should we reopen that conversation about, oh, I want to get a promotion from junior dev to intermediate dev, or from intermediate dev to senior dev? So it just makes things very clear, so that you're not fuzzy about your career. You're able to plan for your career as you should be. Yeah, so that's so for this stream specifically, that's what I'll be working on, because as the team is growing, it becomes increasingly important to kind of create a system for that. Otherwise, conflict is right around the corner. So that's what I'm trying to prevent. Cool. So I think I'll just share my entire screen instead of sharing individual tabs, because I might just forget, because now I've moved, but I've forgotten to share the tab. But yeah, let me just share the entire screen. If you hear my voice is weird. I have cats and I love cats, but I am deathly allergic to cats. And my cats are very cuddly, right? So they were here busy cuddling me. So now ni kama niko na homa, lakini si homa, ni allergic reaction to the cats. So bear with me. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. Hey, wacha kwanza let me confirm that I don't have any incriminating information in my cloud. Hey, one of these days I'll just reveal all my secrets here. Jokes. Ta-da. Okay, I'm going to mute myself because again, this is a deep work session. So I'm going to mute myself, play some music, and play for you guys some lo-fi music so that I don't get another copyright strike. Yeah. So let's get to work. Let me just change the missing deep work station. Okay. Music. Get cracking. Usingizi imenishika. I think I'll try and finish. Just like let this guy finish, and then I will go and take a nap, and then I'll be back. I suspect need you chakula breakfast, so maybe I go get breakfast. What are you building? So, what I'm building is a compensation calculator, because the team at Akonga Labs is growing, and so far I've just been pulling numbers out of my ass. And yesterday I went to my mentor, and he was like, "What are you doing, Adrian? You're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Um, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot if you keep doing that. So you need to have a structured way of allocating salaries and levels, and so that people can get a sense of, like, you can give them the transparency that you want to give them, and also give people like a path forward, because if you're a junior who is just getting started, which means that you're spending let's say if you've worked for us for a month, you've spent maybe 2 to 3 weeks of that month just learning stuff. That means you're a junior. Let me just switch to this calculator. Check kidogo, there's some sensitive information huko chini, so let me just make sure that I do not show you that. Ta, 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 ta. So this is the calculator, right? And so the idea is, right, you're an engineer, you're a junior, right? So junior is 0 to 3 years, and then over that 0 to 3 years, ideally you're spending your time in either one of these katungi ndio late birds kuamka, as long as umeamka. So you're spending your time in either one of these steps between 0 and year 3, right? So if you're in between 0 to 6 months, you're in the learning, and then ukijituma, you can quickly go to established, and then thriving, and then expert, and then now we can have a conversation about leveling you up to an intermediate engineer, right? And as you can see, the salaries for these things are different, right? So, but this is specifically for like a early stage startup like us, who basically is being funded by the salary of the founder, because we don't have that much money. That's a fact. We don't have that much money, which means that salary will not be our strong point when it comes to compensation. So what will be our strong point is how we package. Like, salary is just one component of compensation, and there are other components, right? Like, we work fully remotely. That means that you can save on costs for eating out. You can save on cost for transport. You can live in a place that's cheaper but a bit far away from town, right? Those are some of the things that we are able to do as a startup, so that we don't burn money. Because if we burn money faster than we should, then our likelihood of staying alive is very low, right? So the whole point of this calculator is to create a system for salaries, because so far I've just been unaingia, I'm like, we pewa 50k, we pewa 100, we pewa, hivyo, and it has been very unstructured. And my mentor alinikelelesha sana for doing that. He was like, this is something that you need to change immediately, because if you continue going down that road, you're going to make your company crash and burn because of your ignorance. But that's why I have a mentor, right? So yeah, so that's the whole point of building this, so that we can have a systemized way of paying out salaries and deciding who gets paid what. And yes, I agree, these numbers look, I don't know if you're able to see the numbers. You're not, sorry. So these numbers look, because okay, maybe I move my camera to the other side. Mm, okay, cool. So the compensation calculator, you can see that this is an engineer, right? Intermediate means they've worked for between 3 to 5 years. So they're at the 3 to 5 year mark on the we can what can you Katungi unasema nini? Oh, okay. So also you notice that I might be replying to comments that you're not seeing because this thing is being streamed on like different platforms. So there's Twitter, right? Like that. I have no idea what you're called. Oh, you could see the numbers. Oh, okay. Thank you. So I'll be replying to stuff and like, so when I was replying to what are you building, I was replying to a Twitter comment, right? When I was replying to ndio ilibaz kuamka, I was replying to a YouTube comment, right? So you'll see that like on the platform that you're watching this stream, you might not see the comment I'm talking about. I'll try to remember to put it on the screen so that you can be able to see the comment. But yeah, we're receiving comments from different platforms. We have people who are on Twitter. We have about 18. Actually, the majority is Twitter. We have 18 people on Twitter, one person on Twitch, and one person on YouTube. So the one person on YouTube is Katungi. Katungi is a friend of mine. Yeah, so this is what we're building, a compensation calculator, just to systemize the process of deciding who gets paid what. And while these numbers look like they're low, right? Because for me, right, like I given, let's make this match me. So this is engineer, senior, and then let's call it established, right? So the salary for a senior engineer at Akonga would be 95,000 to 104,000. Now that is very low in terms of like industry salaries. But here's the thing: we're an early stage startup, and so far the funding that we are at liberty to use, right? We have funding that we're not yet at liberty to use, but like the funding that we're at liberty to use is the $10,000 I put in, and the $20,000. Maybe sorry, let's just call it $11,000 that I raised from my friends, right? So we have $21,000. Now, if we do the math, if we are spending, let's say, $500,000, because before I quit my job, I was making $500,000 a month, right? So if one person is going to be making $500,000, it means that we can only afford one person for 4 months, which is not very realistic, right? So as an early stage startup, we have to think about stuff like that. We have to think about the fact that one, we have little money, but we can compete on other things, right? We can compete on like the remote nature of the company. We can compete on giving team members equity, autonomy. We can compete on making sure that we build a culture that is safe and good for like the people who are on the team. So we cannot compete on like if you're prioritizing salary, I'd advise don't go into the startup world, right? Go into corporate, because in corporate you'll be paid those numbers. But if you're in the startup world, know that your compensation will not be in terms of money. Your compensation package overall might be good, but the salary component will be compromised because of the dynamics of a startup. So, and you can see that, right? Because I went from making $500,000 a month to now at my company, I am capped at 104,000, right? So that's a 5x reduction in salary. But it makes sense because if we stay lean and we're able to be alive for longer, and we start making money, and we start making like good profit, then I will be rewarded for that salary cut in like 2-3 years from now. So long story short, if you're optimizing for salary, go to corporate. If you're optimizing for impact, ownership, and flexibility, go to a startup. Yeah, so I use this editor is called Z. I used it a lot. So nowadays, especially at the beginning of projects, I rarely write code manually, right? So I start writing code manually when we're building like more complex things. So you'll notice that as I'm starting out a lot of these projects, AI is doing a lot of the scaffolding because I've set it up for success to do that. But once we have that done, you'll notice that I'll start taking over the programming and doing it myself. But in the beginning, it will be very, very hey hi, Jesus, nimekuwa mkamba. Very, very AI driven. Oh, that was fast. Fuck. Do you know what just happened? It installed dependencies for the landing page, the what you call it, the React app and the Express server in like 3 seconds. That's crazy. But also it kind of makes sense because I have really fucking fast internet. Yeah, like probably touches like 150 Mbps. Yeah, so kind of makes sense why it was that fast, but still, that's so fucking fast. Yeah. So now we have that. So we have this, like if you're to start a project really quickly and you're doing it in JavaScript, I recommend you go check out the SaaS Panda boilerplate that we have in the team GitHub, right? Because it does everything for you. Like to get this up and running, you literally have to run 2 commands: the setup, and then the setup creates a dev script, and then you run the dev script, and that's it. Your thing is already working. Like you already have software that's ready to start. Like all the boilerplate stuff is done for you, and you can get started. Cool. So AI has done already a good job, I can see, to some level. See, sometimes it makes like little silly mistakes like this. So the background is white and the text is white. So that's stuff we have to kind of fix. But let's just confirm that this works the same as the one that we had on Claude. Oopsie daisy. What's going on here? Oh, hii ndo natafuta niko like iko wapi kumbe. So we want to make sure that this works the same as this. So role engineer, so creative lead. Okay, so we have creative lead, engineer, design engineer, content marketer, motion graphics and video editor, virtualized. These are actually the roles that we have right now. These are the people that we have in the company at the moment. And then we have junior, intermediate, senior, 0.57, 81. Okay, cool. Then we have established learning 1.2, 1.2. Okay, cool. And then work arrangement is so we have allocation. So because again, now with the whole funding thing, there are some roles that we want, but we can't afford them full time. So we are floating them part-time offers. Yeah, so that we stay alive. Like the plan is to stay alive, so that we can see our dreams through. But we have to like make some sacrifices to make that happen, right? Like I'm supposed to be taking a salary of 100 and something K. I'm taking a salary of like 40K so that I can be able to pay other people. So these are some of the sacrifices that you have to make as a founder. But like you know what you're doing, right? Because at the end of it all, that you own the thing. Oh, that's another bug. You see, it makes like silly bugs, but you can fix that. But you own the thing, and when you own the thing, you will get paid off eventually, but you can't do it alone. And because it is your thing, you are the one to take the pay cut, and then your people make more money than you. But in the long run, because you own the thing, once it starts making profit, then that flips. So you make a lot more money because you took the upfront risk, and then the people now who are, were safe and they're getting paid well, yes, they get a pay bump, but compared to you, it's very small. So that's the dynamic of a business, right? You take the risk up front and you get the reward when you make it, or rather if you make it, because most businesses die. So that's the risk. You can take a chance where you've paid out people like 10 million shillings in salaries, and then your business just dies and you never made any money from it. In fact, you're actively losing money from it. So that's the reason why the business owner, the owner of the capital and the owner of the labor, eventually makes more money, but like in the short term, they are living quite broke, quite broke. Kama sahi nimesota man. Imagine going from having half a million to spend to nothing. um, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. Oh wow, the creative lead would make more money than, that's very interesting, than an engineer. Okay. That's very interesting. So these are some of the things that I need to like tweak as I'm working on this thing, because I did like preliminary research, and then I dropped that PDF that I created into this thing, and then it generated this thing for me. So the idea is to like rapidly iterate and then make it better. So start badly and then make it better. So cool. So already we have like a somewhat functional tool for salary calculation. So then I'll go and I'll now do like proper research on like the numbers, and then I'll come back and I'll fine tune the numbers. But you basically watch me go from an idea, right? I didn't do this on the live because it's just like I was plugging in some sensitive information. So it's not wise to show you some of these things. But you can see, I showed you the workflow at least, right? I have Claude on the browser. I use Claude on the browser to quickly like prototype ideas and do research. And then once it builds a prototype for me, then I hand that over to my Z, like the AI editor I use. Just minimize this so that I can show you. I hand that over to the AI editor I use. And then with the AI editor, we are able, so I have it set up like this. Let me walk you through it, right? I have two things set up. I have this cursor rules file. What the cursor rules file has is just a set of instructions on how we write code at Akonga Labs, right? And then it has two, so it tells the AI to take two general roles. So it takes the role of either a planner or an executor, because AI at the moment doesn't have memory, so you kind of have to hack together the memory. So when it starts off in planner mode, it goes, okay, this chat is long, so I'll just go directly inside here. When it goes into planner mode, it comes into this document and it creates a plan, right? It breaks down the tasks and kind of gives to-dos and also tracks what it has done. So in that 5, 10, 20 minutes that this was running, it went ahead and did a planning phase, and then it analyzed the repository, and then it did tasks 1.1 all the way to 3.3, and then it does an update, right? So where we are right now, what we have going on, and then next steps, right? So this is how this is how you, because the AI, like they're getting there to like building this internally into the AI, but it's not there to my knowledge. Maybe there's someone who's already done it, but with the tools I've been using, it's not present. So you kind of have to create memory for the AI. This gives you a few benefits. It never has to guess. It has to structurally think through the plan, and then you get to approve the plan before it executes the plan, which gives you a lot of control over like quality and how that works. And then because I'm done for this. This is done. When I come back the next time now to like fine tune the tool that it just built for me, right? I have the memory. So I'll ask it, and we can even do it practically. I'll ask it to, let me just, I'll ask it to, so Control N, could you tell me the project status? Planner. So remember, we have two roles, planner, executor. So you kind of have to tell it planner, executor. So it'll go into the cursor rules, it'll pick up the rules of engagement for this repository, and then it'll look for, so it'll, from the rules of engagement, it'll be told that there's a .cursor folder somewhere, and it has a scratchpad. That scratchpad has the history and like the memory of the AI. So it'll go inside there, it'll read the scratchpad, and then it'll be able to tell me, okay, we are here, we have achieved this, these were the next steps. Would you like me to create a plan and then proceed? I hope that's what it asks me, but like typically it asks me that. So yeah, that's a very brief overview of what my workflow looks like on a day-to-day basis. But then remember, this is at the beginning of projects. Once the projects start maturing, this becomes a little bit unsustainable. So you kind of have to get a, like you cannot release the work of coding to the AI completely. It's a co-pilot, right? It's not the primary creator. So you have to be very hands-on. So any line of code that comes into the code base, you need to know exactly what it does. And then secondly, you need to have a good understanding of your tools, your ecosystem, and all that stuff, because without it, you can't fix errors. You can't, like, if you don't know how to work as an engineer, this idea of like breaking something down into steps, which is something we are taught in the engineering world, like the things called PRDs, ERDs, like we are big on breaking down problems. Like it's called algorithmic thinking, right? And an algorithm is simply a series of steps to achieve a goal, repeatably. So when you're taught algorithmic thinking, you're told that step number one before you try and solve anything is to break it down into the smallest components, so that you can start and stack and stack and stack and stack and stack, exactly, thinking in first principles. Yes. So you can stack the stuff that you know, so that you're able to kind of understand the problem in its entirety and investigate the problem in its entirety. And then once you have that big picture, then you come back down to the smallest task, and then you build on top of it. Because also part of algorithmic thinking is knowing that you can't have a full solution from the word go. You have to iterate to get the full solution. So once you have a big picture and you can have a rough idea of where you're going, then now you come back down to earth, you come to the smallest task, and then you build that, and then you build the next smallest task, and then now you stack. And then you realize that, oh, this architecture decision we made does not work for this environment. So let's go back to the drawing board now with more information. And that's how you work on it. But like, so when people come in and start doing vibe coding without that software engineering background, you realize that they quickly get very frustrated, and then you can see comments like, I can't get this to work. I keep on running into errors and all that stuff. But you've noticed that for me, I've been able to, with very little input, I've been able to create an entire tool, and it's functional. Like the only things that are weird are like visual things, right? This should be a blue background, not a translucent background. These tooltips should be have like a dark background, not a white background. And those are like visual things, but like the core logic is functional. And then my next step will be to sit down with the code and review every single line of code to make sure that I have full understanding of what I'm committing into the code base before I commit it into the code base, right? And then once I fully understand it, I'll commit it, I'll push it to GitHub, and then I'll repeat to the next task. So that's the difference between vibe coding as someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and vibe coding as someone with experience and knowledge and the ability to engineer software. And I guess with that, we can call this stream done. You've kind of learned a bit more. So these numbers are not like fully accurate right now, but like they're close, right? So this tool will be public because the idea is to be transparent, right? So that if you're considering applying for a role at Akonga Labs, you can be able to know what you're getting into. We'll document everything. We'll explain to you our thought process so that you come in informed. You don't come in thinking that you're making $500,000 as a senior engineer, um, because this is not, we're not yet there. We're going to get there, but we're not there. Like we're a week old. Primarily, the funding we can access is from my own pocket and the pockets of my friends. The funding that we're getting from investors is not available to us for a while, as I finish up like some of the setup stuff that they requested. So we kind of have to be very lean, and we have to be very conscious of how fast we are burning our money. And that enables us to survive, right? So if this kind of money is not something that makes you excited or covers your needs, for the time that we are now, and we start making like good money and now salaries go up, then I'd advise go to a more established company. Apply to the Microsofts, apply to startups in the US, because the figures can look a bit better. But if you're here in Kenya, expect that me, a senior engineer of 6 years experience, is going to be making 95,000 to 104,000 at this startup, because that's where we're at. Though our compensation package is not just the money, right? It's more comprehensive. And once I have this done and it will be published on our website, I'll share it, and you can go and like see what we offer, what we expect from you, and then you'll be able to determine if working for us is something that would be good for your career or not. Whatever you choose, I think I understand it's fair, but that's just the reality of things. We cannot afford to be paying people like before I jumped into this project, I was making $500,000 a month, right? But we can't can't afford to pay me $500,000 a month, because right now we have like what, 2 million in the bank, which means that just me alone, 4 months we're broke, right? And we have a team of what, 6, 7 people, so we cannot afford to pay anyone. Even 100,000 is like on the very, 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 very like senior, and most of the people on the team are either straight out of campus or like very early career, right? So their salaries will more realistically look like 40 to 70,000. Yeah, senior engineers wangu, if you're thinking about Audi, let me just show you what this guy is saying. So he's saying my senior engineers want to buy Audis. Yeah, my senior engineers, and if you're thinking about an Audi or not, this is not the place for you. Yeah, because like myself, I drive a very, very, very like almost my age mate car, that has a very beat up body, but like it runs and gets me from point A to point B. So you kind of need to mirror the founder. And if you do need a car, it needs to be a very cheap to, like my car costs me like 20K a year to like service it. So so like it's yeah, it's that cheap. And like in fuel for like a whole month is like 6 Gs. So it's that cheap to run. And it's a Toyota. It's very reliable, even though it's like almost my age. So we kind of have different priorities at a startup level than at a more established company, and that's something important to know as you think about whether or not you want to go to the startup world, right? So if you have black tax, I'd advise go to corporate. If your ambition is to buy an Audi, go to corporate. But if you want to learn how to run a business from the ground up, if you want to have the opportunity to make insane amounts of money, like over the short term, like short term, I mean 5 to 10 years, with the potential of making none, right? So high upside, high risk. You could get rewarded really well, or you could fall flat on your face. So you also need to determine if you have that appetite for risk. Yeah, that's just very brief overview of like what you have to consider when you're entering the startup world, or you're considering entering. You're weighing between startup and corporate. So corporate is very rigid, it's very boring. You have to wear like weird clothes, you have to go to an office every morning, but what they give you in return is a lot of money. I wouldn't say security, because a job is never secure. And we've seen that in the past few years with like people who thought that they've worked for a company for 25 years and then they get fired with an email, or you find out that you're fired when you open your computer and you can't use it. yeah, so each has its pros and cons. Choose what's best for you, and live your life on your own terms. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. For not for today, for this stream. I'll probably be doing like multiple streams a day because I'm not just working for 2 hours a day. But not all my work is able to be streamable, but for the work that is streamable, I'll do my best to stream. Until next time, this was Adrian from Akonga Labs, and we are building the future of Africa. Join us.